Hello and welcome to the podcast We Are Selling. My name's Lee Woodward and today's program is brought to you by Realtair. Realtair is the one platform of choice of real estate professionals, allowing you to pitch, sign and sell real estate. Today's tip is the power of contribution. When you give, you receive. And throughout your career and life, all you have is your relationships. And some of those are transactional and some of those are transformational. And if you take a moment to reflect back on everyone who's referred you, is an advocate for you, provides value and sends customers, does things back for you, it's the level of your relationship that has created that opportunity. When I reflect back, I wouldn't even be on this audio today if it wasn't for John McGrath giving me a chance when I was 27 years of age to work with the McGrath team, and for John and I recording the Real Estate Hot Topics audio program. And you soon learn that no one thing happens in isolation. You think that phone call, that buyer inspection you're doing, that owner you're working with right now, sometimes is a waste of time, but it's the most important part of another part that connects at the right time. When someone passes on your name, or they see you working hard out in the marketplace and can see that difference in you and a not so dedicated competitor. And contributing to our program today is the secret weapon of influencers and thought leaders that she represents on an international level as an advisor. She joins us now. Please welcome to the program, Julie Masters.
Thank you very much.
Julie, give us your background.
I'm a consultant. I'm a coach. I had a talent management agency for over 10 years representing thought leaders. So authors, CEOs, media personalities, economists, politicians, here and in the USA.
That's amazing. Today we're talking about the power of contribution. And many people listening to our program today could be restarting their career. They may have joined real estate from another business career, and getting known is not easy. And if you don't have the big budgets and you haven't been around for a long period of time, what would be your advice for someone getting known in the marketplace, either new or old, to stay relevant and current in the marketplace? What would you advise?
I would forget about perfect, because that's essentially what you're talking about with budgets and resources. Perfect utopian situation, and I can guarantee you, because I talked to them, focus on your process. If I was new to the real estate industry and I was a new agent looking to stand out, I would focus hard on process. I would focus hard on going, I'm the hungriest, clarity. I am the hungriest real estate agent in this area right now, and I will work harder for you than anybody else. Here's me doing 200 calls, sat at my desk, because I'm going to get the best price possible. Here's me doing this new idea because I think it's going to get cut through. Here's me, story of your process that we're interested in. And me watching, or someone watching me as the hungriest real estate agent and going, oh my gosh, that girl outworked anybody. Look how passionate she is. Look how on the cutting edge she is. Look how interested she is. And if she can do that for her business, and if she works that hard for her clients, then I want her working for me. And not only that, but she seems really nice and approachable. And she seems like somebody who I could actually get on with. And she seems like somebody I can trust. And not only, she knows the tech world, obviously. Like 100 things come out of this.
Excellent. Julie, a lot of our listeners feel everyone's shouting. Everyone's number one in the area. Everyone's the best. No one's got a bad Instagram reel. How do you cut through the noise when it is just so fast moving through all the time with the shouting and you're trying to stand out yourself?
You cannot outshout anymore. Now we need to get smarter about it and go, okay, well, outshouting's not working. So what else does mass communication give us? Well, now with the rise of platforms like social, it gives us the ability to get very specific with our data. It gives us the ability to know exactly who we are talking to, down to their ages, their gender, where they live, what they're into, what groups they like. Very targeted with our communication. And then what you do is once you've got targeted, so again, you've turned down the volume, you're not shouting anymore to 1,000 people, you're talking to a smaller group, then you out-contribute anybody else in that marketplace. So you stop out shouting and you start out contributing. Targeted contribution. And that's where you get cut through, and that's where you get engagement, and that's where you get incredible results.
Give me an example of that.
An example of out contributing. A good example of that from my own life is we went to launch our business in the USA. So we were a relatively small company, very small company in US terms of scale, a smallish company here in Australia. And we were going to launch over there. And our competitors over there were people who literally had lunch with the Clintons. You know, the people who represented the Clintons, the Bushes, the Steve Jobs of this world. And we were going to go into that market as a talent management agency and try and compete, which was overwhelming, naive, and just a little bit stupid. And so we thought, okay, well, we can't outspend. We definitely can't outspend. We can't out-network. We don't have those kind of connections. And we definitely can't outshout anybody else in that marketplace. But what we can do is we can out-contribute everybody else in that marketplace. And so we went to the core distributors, the people that were going to be bringing us the work, went out to them and said, what are the top professional challenges that you have right now? Just give us a quick list, top 3. And we got all of those. And then we went out to all the smart people that we knew, and we did videos on each of those challenges, each of those questions. And we put together a 12-week video program answering those challenges and those questions. No agenda, just contribution. And we went back out and we said, we're new to the marketplace, so in order to make friends, we heard you, some of the things you're struggling with are out. We've actually gone out and we've found the smartest people in those areas, and we've got them to bring you the information that's going to help you overcome those challenges and make the most of those opportunities. And here it is for you. It's going to happen over the next 12 weeks. If you want to opt out, do. No one did. But it's just to say hello. And that went gangbusters. Suddenly doors were, people are writing back going, oh my God, so nice of you. Thank you for creating that for us. Do you want to come in? Do you want to have a coffee? That's the power of out-contributing. We could have just done a mass communication. We could have bankrupted ourselves in terms of putting together this beautiful campaign to try and outshout everybody else. It doesn't work anymore. The smartest way is when you out-contribute in a very targeted way. So it's probably the closest to home example I can give you.
Great example, and that's right in line with my theory on snacks and snacks of information and content. And in the real estate space, we call that a seller series, where you've met an owner who's potentially selling, meaning the next 18 months they're going to transact, and instead of just sending them nothingness marketing and blasting, you send them tips. Should you move, should you renovate? Preparing your mind for sale. The profit of a garden. But that done in video, where people say, I really enjoyed that little snack you sent the other day. Would you pop over and see our garden? We've got that decision to make. Do we invest in the garden? We weren't even thinking about it. But you said there's so much profit in a garden, and it's the one thing people leave undone when they go into the marketplace, and it lets them down. So suddenly the tip, the snack, the content, you've contributed in a way that you're interesting. Julie, it's been absolutely a pleasure having you on the program. I want to thank you for joining us, and we look forward to having you on the program again in the future.
Thank you very much.
And that brings us to the conclusion of another tip for the week, and the power of contribution. I hope you got a lot out of today's program. I know I did. And as you go through your career, opportunities pop up to do this in so many places. For example, I remember going into so many lounge rooms and advising someone not to sell because it wasn't right for them. There was another way to do it. And they'd send you 10 referrals because you did the right thing in the right moment. I remember one of my school friends, their mum and dad were selling this tiny little property in DY, and I went in to do the appraisal or assessment, for a better word, and this was their final sale. Whatever money they got out of this was it. This was the retirement moment, the tax-free asset going on the market. And I could have just put it on the market the way it was, but it was a corner block. And I did some investigation. There was a massive sewer easement going through the property, but I understand those things. And I spent 3-4 weeks mucking around with the plumbers and getting quotes to have this pipe diverted so we could actually get 2 properties on there. In doing that, I sold it to a developer. I got them $150,000 more than the asset was worth as just a normal house. And just taking that time and putting that effort in was a life-changing moment for them. And the flood of referrals that just kept coming through because you got that difference in result. And I think we forget that at times. We just want to sell the property and get on to the next one. But this is it for them. Tax-free asset, if it is their principal place of residence. And you can make a massive impact by taking that time and embracing the power of contribution. And I love that saying. When all the money passes hands, the question is, what did you contribute? Thank you for joining us. My name's Lee Woodward, appearing on behalf of Realtair, the platform of choice for real estate professionals. We will see you again next week for our next episode of We Are Selling. And for those of you attending the Complete Salesperson course as it moves around the country, I look forward to seeing you face to face in the training rooms. Thank you for listening. See you next week.